Authorities are hopeful that the expanded search into the nearby communities of Harlow and Chinatown will unearth new leads.
What's up, guys? It's Stubbornly TV. I'm back doing another family gameplay video. Um, Today's video will be Hitch. So we did Perk in the previous one. This one's going to be Hitch with his new execution as well. I guess the next one will probably be Sissy. I'll have Sissy up in the next week. So again, we're going to do one map per killer. So all 4 maps will be included in this video. This is Nancy's house. With Hitch, I don't play him too much, so it's going to be a little different because Cook is my main. So usually when I play with a pre-made, I don't normally put a trap on this door. Usually I'm Cook, first of all. So usually I would have this door have a padlock on it. Cook would come over, put a padlock on this. And then I would take my trap and put one on the sliding door. And then based off of the location of the fuse or of the valve, depending on if there's a Danny or not. Though Danny doesn't really, since his nerf, he doesn't really create as much of a risk to the valve as much as he used to. I'm also not really much of a blood getter. My build is definitely not really for blood. But I don't normally play with randos, but for YouTube content sake, I ready up with one rendo. I am still sick with a cough, you know, crazy. How long will this last? Who knows? But my Bubba, as in my last video as well, is not a rando. He is a very good Bubba. I would say probably one of the top Bubbas in my personal opinion. So usually when I do play Hitch on this map, I'll try and get some blood as I'm going through. I'll figure out the location of the fuse valve. I tend to look to see if there's a Danny. There is a Danny up top. I always forget it shows the faces. There is a Danny, so I like to find the location of the fuse, make sure I figure out if I need to. Usually if it's in the garage, I might trap it if there's no Cook. Just because if they're not playing Cook, if the rando's not playing Cook, then more than likely they're playing a killer that they're going to be running around with, and they're not going to kind of stay stationary in the house like I would tend to do personally. I also wasn't going to... Yeah, see, I had no idea there was even a system. Because he initially was queued up as a Cook and then changed his mind last second. I wasn't going to upload this round just because it kind of went quickly and there wasn't much of a challenge. But the end of the video was just too good for me to spare. So I decided to keep it because there wasn't much knowledge or tips for me to share. I did put the trap on the generator. The one time that I think that I will... say to put a trap on the generator is if there is no Cook. When there's no Cook, this road straight ahead of me to the right that you just saw, people can go up that road if they turn the generator off, and then they can just open that gate. If there's no Cook, there's not an extra padlock on it. It's just going to be the default lock. And if it's a Danny or a Connie or anyone with a high proficiency, they're just going to pop it and be out. So that is a time when the generator being turned off is a little more risky. If there is a Cook, then if he's doing his job properly, there's going to be a padlock on that gate up ahead down the road. And it's going to be 2 locks that they have to get off. In the amount of time that it's going to take them to run up the road and more than likely be chased in the process, they're not going to be able to open that gate. So I wouldn't normally put a trap there if there is a Cook. But because there's not, I put one there just for the sake of it. There is a Danny, but I don't think I was too concerned about the Danny, especially since there was a death pretty early on. There was a Connie that died pretty early on, so. I also had some feedback of some people saying, hey, maybe not do a voiceover, maybe talk while you're in game, but I found a couple of things would happen from doing that. One, I would get very nervous or antsy and not feel like I was telling you guys as much details as I wanted to tell you about my gameplay and maybe stuff that you didn't know or do know. I'm never going to claim to be the best at this game or know everything there is to know, especially on the family side, seeing as I definitely am a victim main. But I do feel a little more comfortable being able to look over the footage after I record and be able to give proper feedback like this. If you don't really like voiceovers or you feel like it's a little, this doesn't come off natural, then let me know, because overall my biggest thing is wanting to come off natural to you guys. I don't want to sound scripted or awkward or anything like that. I'm getting a little more comfortable doing these. So with each video, I hope it becomes a little more natural for me. So if you want to let me know in the comments. If this is the end, is this towards the end of the VOD? I think it is the end of this one. Leland kind of screwed the Danny over. The end of this round just kind of worked out beautifully in my hands, and I was really excited about how it all worked out. So I chose to keep this round for when I chose to upload. So you hear the Danny just welled right in front of me, so I decided to get a nice, quick, easy kill there. He DC'd pretty quickly. He just fell kind of right into my arms, and I was like, I can't help that. I have to take it. So I enjoyed that a lot. So now it's just the Leland left, and that worked out really well too. So the main reason I kept this map in for this round was because of the Danny and the Leland kill. The timing of his well was just perfect. And then the kill against Leland, I thought it was just really, really nice. It looked really, really good in the room that I kill him in. And it was very cinematic, in my opinion. So that's what it is.
I knew they were here somewhere.
I'm definitely not a Hitch main. If there's one thing that I want to continue to like repeat, because I feel like it's something that I see even with people that I play with, always use your power. Killers have the sense, the family sense, where they can see their traps or their padlocks, and I feel like people don't look at that enough. And you need to look at that, because it's going to show you if your traps are down. It's going to show you if your padlocks have been popped. And this is his new execution. Look how beautiful that looks. See, I love it. So that's why I chose this round. But yeah, use your family sense. Make sure you're using it to make sure you keep an eye on your traps and your padlocks. That way you know if somebody's been in that area. A lot of people think that traps are only good for trapping people, but it's also good for patrolling. So if you need to go on the other side of the map for whatever reason, you can still check on your traps, and that way, if you're not near there but you see one of your traps are down, you can communicate to your team and be like, hey, someone's over at car battery, my trap's down, and maybe you can't get over there immediately, but your teammates can. So even if you're not trapping people, it's also just a good way to monitor areas that you may not be right next to at the time. So this one is Family House. Again, I don't play Hitch, so my normal process would not be to collect blood when I'm with a pre-made, but again, we have a solo. I don't remember who the solo was on this map either. It'll pop up at some point, I'm sure. So first I just want to get my traps down. When I do play Hitch, I do the front window, I do the bottom of the staircase in the hallway, and I do the staircase in den at the top. I don't put it at the bottom, I tend to put it at the top, because I feel like they just look for it at the bottom way too frequently. So putting it at the top of the den, I feel like it pushes them up into the map further, and then they'll have to come back down the steps once they step on it to get away or push forward. But I also tend to, so I notice that he's getting blood, which makes me happy because I'm not really a blood getter. I always latch that door, even if the fuse isn't in this room, more so when it is in this room. But if they do try and push up and they step in that trap and they try and stay in this area, they can't get through this door because it's latched. And then there's a crawl space in that room as well. If it's closed, they can't go through the crawl space, or they have to stop in order to put the crawl space up. The perk that I use, now I can't remember the name of anything for the life of me, but the perk that I do use, not the perk, my third tier for Hitch's skill makes it so when they step in your trap, it causes them to lose more damage, bleed more. I forget the name of it is, but it's the third tier for Hitch. So they're gonna lose more health as time goes on, after they step in the trap itself. So, and then once traps are up, and he's at least level 1, I try to break all the doors. It's nice to just kind of get all the doors out of the way so you don't have to deal with them trying to door slam you or, you know, prevent you from a chase. It's just easier to get them all out of the way. Now the exterior, which shows you when basement doors, objective gates, and escapes are opened. I saw that with Side Garden, so I knew that she was out here. There's a barrier here, and I didn't want to bother Bubba too much to come out and get her because she was either going to go back down the basement or she was going to come into the actual house itself. So I was going to give up, but the cook came out. So when this happened, I was a little confused because I came around and it looked like she might have welled. Or not welled. She might have went over the barrier, but I didn't see her, so I didn't think she was on my side anymore. So I thought somehow he lost her. But apparently I lost her and she was still on my side and he found her. So I thought when I went back around she went over the barrier on his side, but apparently not. This cook knew what he was doing. I think for the most part, if I recall. But then did they... I find it hard to believe that they got the padlocks off both doors. I mean, maybe. Maybe he's just holding on to his padlocks. I don't really know. Don't hold on to your padlocks on this map. On gas station, I hold on to my 2 padlocks. I usually always padlock the gas station escape door. And then I hold on to my other 2 padlocks. But on Family House, it's so quick for them to just run up, pop a lock, and then get out of the front or the side door that it's just too risky to leave it that vulnerable. I mean, if you're a really good remade, then it's not going to be too much trouble because you're going to know how to put a good amount of pressure on the family. I don't think that I had any idea she was coming up that ladder. I think that she just appeared, and that worked out in my favor. So I was also a little confused at how I won that, but that's fine. I'll take it. I love Family Map. It's personally my favorite. I think I've said it in videos before, but I like Family Map for victims, and I like Family Map for family as well. I like it on both sides. I enjoy it. It's very compact. It's a lot more interaction between victims and family. I think ultimately that's what this game should have more of, honestly. I know victims hate getting this map because they just think it's very family-sided, but it really isn't. If you get a good victim team, I mean, you can destroy a good family team. You just gotta know how to work together. All teammates have to add equal pressure. It's gonna get a little rough. Pressure and map knowledge are probably the 2 biggest aspects in this game on both sides. The more you know about the map, the easier it's going to be for you. The more you understand the skill in the person you're playing and how to balance pressure and when to push and when not to are also very big aspects of this game. Gonna try and cut him off. My grade 8 bubble. I am not teabagging this man. Do not put me on Reddit.
Wearing a simple rope belt, pair of sunglasses, and holding a copy of King James Bible. No man showed signs of abuse.
So this is Slaughterhouse. I feel like Slaughterhouse used to be one of my more favorite maps earlier on when the game was released. Probably because of the broken valve situation. But I don't really like it as much anymore. I don't hate it. So as Hitch on this map, again, I'm not really a blood getter. I don't really like to get blood on any other killer except for Cook and Sissy. I don't really do much with Hitch. I know there's a couple of blood buckets in this building, But I tend to just kind of ignore that and just go straight out. I feel like this is one of the maps where they tend to rush quickly because it's such a big map that the quicker you rush, it's just so hard for them to set up. And once you get the advantage on this map, it's a little hard to kind of control it because things are happening and you're all going sorts of directions, and it's just hard to keep up. When the fuse is on the generator wall, I tend to put one there. I like to put one between that crack as well, but sometimes I don't, depending on the setup of where Grandpa is. If I recall, I take that trap away because that just it wasn't where Grandpa was, but we'll see. I guess it'll go there for now. And then also, usually when there's a cook, the cook will put a padlock on this door, and then I will use my trap to trap the red door for car battery. But because there is no cook, and this door is definitely a little more convenient for victims, victims will tend to attempt to go for this door if they can. Where the red car battery door is a little harder to access because it's a little more on the generator side, which is a little hectic most of the time. So because we have a sissy, I just put it on sliding door for car battery because it's a little quieter over there and a little easier to get around. He stepped in my trap, that worked out. I mute the comms in this game, but I was definitely asking that Bubba earlier to close that crosswalks because it would have worked out pretty good. With no cook, you can just pop that front door to generator and just go through so quickly. So this Connie was kicking the generator, but she hadn't had the exit gate unlocked yet, which confused me because the issue with this is that the generator makes such a loud noise when it turns off. Like, it's very apparent when the generator goes off. So you're giving the family a heads up when you turn off the generator, which gives you less time if needed to unlock the gate. So when you're doing the generator on the maps where the generator is inside, I think the only map where it's not is Nancy's map. It's going to be a situation of not wanting to give them a heads up that you're doing it. So you're going to want to not... I mean, I guess Family House doesn't have a gate either, but Family House, I mean, there's no other way to do it besides taking the generator because you just have that very long road to run along. But you're going to want to unlock the gate before you turn off the gen on gas station and Slaughterhouse. Because as we know, Nancy's has that road that you just go up, and there's really no other way to rotate that or do it besides doing it that way. So again, with the exterior doors that open up into the objective areas, they're going to light up for you. As long as you've leveled Grandpa to the position that Perk is in. For people who do think that Perk is strong, I would agree. Except I don't believe that it is during the round. A lot of people actually use it as victim to benefit them and just bait people into running to the door they see open, and then they go a different route. I do believe that if there had to be a change or a nerf to the perk, I believe that it should be that it deactivates once there's only one person left. Because once there's only one person left, it makes it extremely hard really to do much. When they know your every move, they know exactly what door you're at, where you're at, and it makes it a lot more difficult. So if there should be a nerf to that perk, I believe that it should just be to deactivate it once 3 out of the 4 people are dead. Because to be fair, exterior can be strong, but on this map it's so large, and you have north storage, you have bone room, you have the garage, you have tool storage, you have 4 different means of coming out of the basement. 2 on each corner of the map, north storage and pen, and then on this end you have tool storage and garage. So those are all drastically different locations that you could come up from the basement, and I don't think exterior is too strong when you have a full team. On some maps, it's a little harder, like Family House, where you have the red room, you have the porch door, you have den, and you have side garden, and then there's 4 room as well, so you have 5 on that map. But all of those exits, exits from the basement are all kind of very condensed, so it does make it a little harder, which is why survivors find or victims find family to be a little more difficult than the other maps. But even as a victim for me, I find it to be fun because I don't mind interaction with the killers. I know some people like to play stealthy and don't really want that interaction, but that's my whole point in playing this game, is to have that interaction between victim and family. So I enjoy it on both sides. Sissy's evil grin just watching on.
With them most likely to be rabid. Residents are cautioned to refrain from consuming any water sourced from the reservoir.
So this is the gas station map. And again, with this one, the blood stuff, there's a good amount of blood buckets in the gas station or the car battery area on this map. There's a couple on your way out, and then once you're out, there's a couple over by like the tool shed area. But I really just don't focus on blood when I'm playing Hitch. I just try and get my traps down really, really quickly. And on this map, they can rush the tool shed area, and sometimes the fuse box spawns right there, and they can get the fuse box done so quickly. So I tend to get this first trap down. Again, as I stated in one of my previous videos, if you press tab a lot, you can see if they've gotten a door unlocked. They've woken up Grandpa, and then you check to see if they opened a door. I do see that one door is unlocked already. Just because it's unlocked doesn't mean it's opened. I hope that I checked the fuse box. I don't remember if I looked, but if it's not on tool storage, then I will trap the other side of battery. And then I will go inside and make sure that I trap the fuse. Those are my mandatory slots for my Hitch on this map. I don't do it any other way. Because that way I make sure that my car battery is on lockdown, because if that trap goes down, I'm going over there immediately. I always latch this door just because it screws people over a lot. They don't expect that door to be latched, especially if it's got the fuse there. And then they either have to go through that crack or the crawl space or run right into me as I'm coming back in. We have a Johnny on this round. I think that was Johnny, right, that I just saw. So I have to do a little more patrolling because generator gates are just wide open, and Johnny brought a Grandpa Perk, unfortunately for me, because I love my exterior. So we have to level Grandpa to level 2 in order to get our exterior to be active. It's always going to be at random, so every round, if you have more than one Grandpa Perk, it's going to put them into the positions differently every round, which is why we tend, in my pre-mains, to only run exterior.
What's your left?
It's just a given you're going to get exterior.
Or it's probably going down. Yeah. Keep an eye on.
not exactly sure why she was just hanging out there. I feel like victims have gotten a little more. I have to keep eating because I keep coughing. One day, I promise you guys, I will no longer cough. Like, I'll just be cured of it.
Damn.
I never cough again. That was an interesting Bubba kill. See, I noticed with my skill that the trap car battery is down.
Nice.
I don't remember why I gotta be honest, I don't know my decision making right there. I don't know if Bubba had told me something or what it was, but... But I see a Connie, we stick with the Connie. Oh, Connie gave me this slip here for a second. I always forget this little area that people hide in. I don't know how I didn't notice that. Always pay attention to your blood trails. Pay attention to those blood trails. They will help you. So I stopped and like, bam, right there. So pay attention. Let the blood trail guide your way. She gave me the slip. And I know people hide. I hide there. So I don't know. I just feel like when you have an active, like, quick-paced mind when you're playing family, some things just kind of slip your mind. When you're playing, you just kind of, you're like, where the hell did they go? I hate this part. And they go through that one. No! If that was me as victim, it would have canceled. My luck. So another weird kill. I thought that was another weird kill. Just TCM things. Just TCM things.
Want to play a hidey game, huh? All right, let's play.
So if they get a door unlocked on car battery, I tend to, or even generator, but I tend to collect my trap off of the one gate that's still locked, because I don't know any victim who's going to go back to a different gate that's locked when there's another one that's already unlocked. So at that point I figured there was no real reason for me to have that trap there, because it wasn't going to be utilized in any way. So I just picked up both my traps to lock the inside, since we didn't have a hook to put a padlock on that gate to prevent them from getting in. So I figured I'd just bring them inside to make it a little slower for us to know. We were pretty close. We're on our 4th level at this point, so we weren't too far from level 5, so I figured we'd have time. And even if they get inside and I don't know that they're inside, I'll know once they start working on either a car battery or the exit gate, because they'll have to undo my trap. So same way to patrol, it's just inside instead of the gates this time.
You're looking downright spry. Back and killing for it.
But as always, use your sense. Make sure you see your traps or your padlocks, and that will give you a lot of information in its own. That tells you where they're not, at least. Where they're not trying to escape from. I see Johnny sniffing the ground. Oh, another thing, when you use your sense as well, Not only does it show you your padlocks or your traps or whatever it is the case, the objectives as well. If there's a victim, I keep calling them survivors. If there's a victim near you, sometimes when you use your family sense, you can hear them. Like you'll hear them say things. So it's also another way to sometimes detect if someone is near you. And then I was just kind of also going around closing all the basement doors because now I think it's only one person left. And exterior alarms will be a lot more helpful if the doors are closed because obviously it's not going to work if, the doors are already open. So. So my next video should more than likely be Sissy. That'll be out next week. I'll finish those up. I am still trying to level my Bubba. I do not play Leatherface, I'm not going to lie, but I'm going to work on it for you guys so I can put up a Leatherface video, even if I look crazy. I appreciate you guys for watching, as always. If you don't follow me on Twitch, go over to twitch.tv/stubbornlytv and give me a follow there and catch me most days of the week, except for Wednesdays. I appreciate you guys. I love you all, and I will see you guys later.